Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to London Invite, going to the women's division for the third and final time on the Saturday. And we have another all-UK, and in fact all-London matchup with Iceni taking on LMU. Benji Reese back with you in the booth for this one after my little round off. Hopefully you didn't miss me too much. Things have been going well so far for LMU. 14-10 win over Spice in their first game this morning, and they followed it up with a rip-roaring 14-7 downing of Gravity in their last game, which of course we streamed here live on ULTI.TV. For Iceni, they went down 14-11 to Gravity in their first game of the day, and then clutched out a 12-11 win over Spice in their last game round. So both of these sides coming in on the back of victories. A victory here for LMU would see them wrap up the pool and the top spot and the number 2 seed overall, assuming Gravity beats Spice, which the results suggest that they will, but of course you never know. A win here for Iceni would throw the top of the pool into some three-way tie shenanigans. But we'll burn that bridge if we get there. Iceni are going to be pulling from the end zone towards our left-hand side in the all-black. And it is white for LMU, of course, with those little bit of coloration and accentuation in all of the colours of the various London Underground lines. The ball coming up from Wu. Fielded by Nichols and we're in play. Here's Hamer. Gunning it instantly, looking for Maeta. I don't think it's got enough juice for her. And going to be brought to the front of the end zone by McCarthy. Looking for the lead pass out into space. Chi Lingwu was the target, but it was overthrown. And Huang gets another opportunity. Maeta now. Blading it into the hands of Nichols. Now Hamer once more. Should be aggressive downfield again. No, not this time. Huang just kind of indicating exactly where she wants a little bit of support, trying to blade it over the top of the defender. Finds that window and hits it to Laura van Krieken. Gives LMU the hold to start, a 1-0 advantage.
G'day, Benji.
Hi, Mike. What are you doing here?
I saw you here by your lonesome. You've been working hard all day. I thought I'd try and keep you a bit company so you don't go crazy.
That's all right. You know me, I'm pretty happy with my own company. I live in the middle of nowhere. You kind of have to be. You get used to it.
Beautiful country down there.
God's country, they call it. Which gods, I'm not precisely sure, but LMU getting off to a hot start with the 1-0 advantage.
Nice little touch throw there just past the defender. That's always nice. The wind has settled down a bit. There's not much going on. The trees are stiller than they were.
Yeah, even the umbrellas on the balcony, well, parasols, I guess, are still. There's a tiny little bit of flutter in them, but it's not exactly tugging the jerseys.
Just as I said that, it starts to pick up a little bit more, but that's what happens with these things.
Yeah, still plenty of time left in this game, the last of the day for these sides.
I have to say, this is pretty amazing weather to play Frisbee in.
I know it's not quite Australia, but
no.
Australia's too hot anyway.
Well, where I'm from in Adelaide, it's too cold right now, so I'm very happy to be over here.
Trying to get the best of both worlds. Swing goes to Thompson. Back into the centre. But they've given LMU a short field. The offence is certainly not set into position. Eventually finding Poliquin Michaud. Out in front for Ford. Not seeing a huge amount of separation downfield. Trying to chance her arm. The blade over the top. I don't think Nevitt was quite expecting it as it weaseled its way through her clutches.
I'll leave the names to you, Benji. I'm not so good at...
Which is why we have rosters. So
I know, but I can't look down and get the names in my brain fast enough.
It's a skill. I've tried pointing cameras before, and I mean, actually, I'm not bad at it, but then I'm just built different. That's a lie. It's so hard to do the camera
Just
work.
Depends what you focus on, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's just how my brain works. Iceni being forced into a slow possession. Pass was a little bit behind, but well handled by Thompson. Body has time to measure that one. Zipping it in. Gill. LMU transitioning into going one-on-one. Thompson taking the shot deep. Might hold up a little bit, but Fisk can't get in front of Leong. Hannah Leong, that is. As that one to the end zone. Body finds Gill for the score.
That was a really good zone transition from LMU there. They were they really picked up the players quick on the transition, so they were quite unfortunate not to get the D down there. Just didn't quite see the disc quick enough.
Yeah, just a little bit of traffic there in the middle, and I wonder if Nevitt kind of loses sight of precisely who she's supposed to be matched up against, and Gill does well to recognise that and take advantage to the open side.
Yeah, that was a second throw up, almost a second throw after the transition, so big shout out to Felix running the graphics and camera one and everything else at the same time.
Such as the ULTI.TV way.
Yes, efficiency.
Why have people do one job each when you can pile it all on one person's plate? It's been the philosophy.
Sort of.
It's about it's not about people making work hard.
Right, yeah.
Right, exactly. It's about how can we streamline the process as tight as possible.
Oh, Hannah. One assist early in the game. That's pretty good.
Yeah, there's still so much game left. Of course, game's played to 70 minutes. Plus potential cap.
It was like the first couple of points, there's this little bit of sizing up of the opposition, like what are they going to do, how are they going to play.
I mean, both
a little chess game.
Sets of players will be, abundantly familiar with each other, but even so, every time you play, there's, again, it's still that metaphorical and sometimes literal feeling out process. Hamer finds the upline cut to Nichols. And Nichols shooting to the end zone. Clean hold that time. Nichols to Gainey. A very familiar scoring connection. 2-1 to LMU. Seemed very, not necessarily comfortable, but I think assured there from LMU. They got into their end zone set nicely. They cleared the space towards that far side well. And just the evident trust that Gainey's going to win that matchup.
The old race to the front cone.
It's nice when it works, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's when the sun comes out, there really does heat up, which feels a little bit obvious. But with the rubber crumb, of course, these kind of the little black beads, they absorb the heat and radiate it back out, and it can get perilously warm.
At the famous Mordor field in UC 2018. I was
going to say it's not quite the fiery pitch of Mordor.
Was that 2019?
It was 2019.
2019, yeah, that one.
When it was, basically 40 plus degrees essentially on that pitch with not really any wind and no way to get shade, of course, because you can't exactly nail down a gazebo on some AstroTurf.
We did lose a few umbrellas blowing because it was quite windy also and hot, so that was a tough one.
Yeah, it was either completely still and you couldn't escape from it, or it was a very warm zephyr that blew across, and it was troubling to say the least. Big blade around to Inosevic. Now Thompson zipping it through the centre for Gill. Felix taking advantage of the new passes graphic. There's a player down on the floor. I think it's
Friendly
Kulikovska.
fire.
Nasty one. Hopefully she's okay to continue.
They just caught their feet up, I think, by the looks of it.
Now they are going to take the injury sub. Sharman's going to come on as a replacement.
Ah, yes, that's not so great.
It's not ideal. Weddle off, Sharman on. Iceni keeping their personnel out there. Bit of air underneath it towards the sideline. That's a brilliant toe in from Healy.
Oh.
And then tried to squeeze it down the sideline into Thompson. But Sharman on as a sub helped ensure that door remained closed. Joyce Kwok, no fear, pulling the trigger deep. Looking for Karen Kwok, but Hannah Thompson had a beat on that one the entire way down. Maddie Long's going to jog her way over and pick up and bring in.
I've got an idea, Benji. I'll be back in a sec.
Don't like that. I know how Mike's ideas usually go, and someone's going to end up doing a bit more work. It's a turnover in the short field, gives LMU a break opportunity. That throw short, brilliant layout save there from Karen Kwok. Trying to force it into the end zone. Kulikovska with the defender right on her shoulder. Makes the grab regardless, and LMU take a 3-1 lead. Turns out Mike Palmer's plan has been to transition into CJ Colicchio.
Well, sorry about that. Had
That's
to
all right.
do the most important thing in Ultimate, which is the Spirit Circle with GB Mixed. Glad to be back on here, Bench. Thanks for having me. How's the game so far?
Yeah, LMU with the early advantage. That's the game's first break to take a 3-1 lead. Both sides, I think, have they've looked fluid at points, but also a little bit stop-starty at others. So I think kind of settling into the rhythm of the game a little bit.
Yeah, if there's one thing we saw in that LMU game from earlier this afternoon, we saw some really clinical decisions up the field. And when they turned the disc, there was no panic. They work so hard to get it back. They trust each other. And I know that with this Iceni team, they're very young. Both of their captains are obviously representing GB Mixed right now over there. So they're a little short-staffed, but they should still give LMU a really good fight here.
Yeah, for Iceni, important to get a win in that second game, besting Spice 12-11. We mentioned LMU, of course, victories in their first two games, so a win here would tie up the pool for them. But even if they do slip to defeat here, depending on the score margin, they could still top the pool and find their way into the semi-finals, especially given that they had such a convincing scoreline in their game against Gravity.
Yeah, and you'd like to think that it's good for the next round if they can just cruise as a deep shot goes up to Christy Toe.
That's a lovely deep shot as well. Perfectly weighted with not a huge margin for error when you are tight on that sideline, but it was just to perfection.
Put that throw on a roll. That was buttery.
Happy with that one?
Look at that shot. Throwing it into a very small window. Christy Toe, amazing finisher for Iceni. Takes her defender deep. But all about that throw right there. That's not an easy throw. Same third. Sometimes you don't want to tell people to shoot like that, but in that case, you do you.
It's one of those things where you really do have to know it, because the margin for error is not particularly wide, but with a nice bit of edge on it as well, just to ensure that it's going to hold its line and hold its shape. And Hannah Thompson and her teammates and coach Jamie Rabbitts kneeling down, you see there on the line as well. You can understand that they'd be pleased about it. I would be if I threw it.
Absolutely.
can Iceni earn back that early break?
Wind isn't as strong as it was earlier this afternoon when LMU took down Gravity, so it'll be interesting to see as the deep shot goes up here.
Again, they are
Lucy
lasering.
Cinnamon in pursuit, just can't quite get that.
Same idea, a little bit of monkey see, monkey do maybe. You want to nail the backhand, zinged down that far sideline? Well, we are more than capable of the task as well. Van Krieken collecting her second goal of the game.
Yeah, let's take a look at that replay. Really good break from the mark there, sets it up, and what a throw. An absolute peach down the line. Defender really working hard to get there. There's nothing she can really do about it, though.
Yeah, a brilliant throw from Gainey to hit Van Krieken right in stride, and you can understand the applause. Well earned, I think.
I take my hat off to that throw. A nice little tip of the cap.
With the, now that the clouds have begun to part a little bit more, with the sun coming down on the Astro, it does certainly heat up. And it's become quite a pleasant afternoon. Just in time for our showcase games this evening.
Who knew that England was capable of such good weather? All you hear is the horror stories.
I mean, probably rightly so.
Oh my God, this June has been crazy.
It's not been, I mean, the whole winter has been particularly, I mean, it felt like it's been wet. I've had so many football postponements and cancellations that, honestly, you would not believe the miles I've covered for actually nothing in particular, because everyone's gone home at the end anyway. But, yeah, mercifully, hopefully we get a proper, hot summer.
Good zone here from the LMU. Just like in their last game against Gravity, I feel like they must have tied a rope around each other when they've been setting up the zone. It is equidistant. They move as a unit. It's quite something to watch. They're really stagnating the throwers' ability to throw it down the field. But Iceni really taking some good decisions here, swinging it all the way across the pitch.
It's very well drilled. It knows exactly what it's doing, but to be fair to Iceni, they've not seemed flustered or phased by it at all. Already beyond midfield.
Yeah, sometimes in a zone like this is truly death by 1,000 cuts, and you're hoping as the LMU defenders that maybe a swing will go too far, maybe the turf monster will come up and get it.
Yeah, you're almost hoping to just kind of drill down and bore the turn out of them, trust that you're going to make pass after pass, and eventually we're going to coax the error out of you. Here's Body. Going back to Leong, and now down the far sideline, only a few yards away. Hannah Leong.
Good patience, not willing to just force any shots, no insiders. Looks like a pick called in the stack.
You can see that Cheska Weddle's kind of poached off the second handler there again. We are going to try and stymie these downfield options, and that's wisely recognised there. Leong putting a bit of air underneath it into Body. Expertly done off that quick little flick and roll towards the end zone. Iceni make it 4-3. Nice, calm, patient, assured possession. Didn't matter how many passes it took. We were not going to give you a sniff.
You know, it's really impressive from Iceni to give up that break and to just to have two really smooth offensive points. That does a world of confidence for your O-line. I've been a part of teams where if your offense gets broken once, everybody just starts getting nervous and the second break comes. That's not really the situation here. Iceni's playing really, really well, moving the disc fluidly. Their cutters are in sync with their handlers. The side-to-side movement, very, very good. Let's see if that'll continue, and maybe their defense will get a chance to get a break back for them.
Yeah, Iceni are, of course, your reigning UK national champions, and there was a time when that kind of went without saying, but it's the first time they've won it in about 5 years, I think, last year. Of course, yes, there was the pandemic in the middle of that obviously kind of wiped all Frisbee off the face of the earth for a while, but it'd been a long time coming for Iceni to get back to the mountaintop, the summit of UK Ultimate.
Which is really a credit to the other teams like LMU and Bristol to develop these programs in junction with Iceni and give them a challenge, give them a different option to go and play for. And it's nice to see the women's game growing as well as it is. Oh, and an unfortunate drop. Looked like she maybe lost it in the sun. It is a little sunny right now, which I know, again, shocking for the English, but
Yeah, the way Hamer's looking at that as well, there's a potential that it does flash into your vision and it's difficult to lose, or to keep side of the disc, I should say.
Absolutely.
Treble trying to apply the mark.
Patient going through their throws there.
Barnes finds Cinnamon. And that one just off the hands of Lyndon Chang. Thought she might have had a second effort, but not with the sideline right there.
No, the pitch acting as the 8th defender on the field right there, preventing her from towing the line. LMU, probably about 65 yards to go.
Yeah, a lot of field left in front of them.
Oh, deep shot coming here.
Yeah, Hamer does like to shoot it.
Oh.
And that was a really awkward catch made.
My goodness.
But great to see that Maietta's okay. I wondered if maybe she just got her cleats stuck in this artificial turf a little bit.
That's the problem with turf.
Yeah, Hamer blading to the end zone. Finds Gainey and puts LMU 2 in front once more, 5-3. It feels like when they go long, more often than not, Hamer's the player they give the license to open it up.
It looks like, Iceni is not really doing a good job of stopping their deep game right now, and as we saw between the gravity game and this one, LMU just wants to shoot. And I think maybe that's why JV Rabbits has decided to call a timeout, bring Iceni together, and maybe see that they can shut down this deep game from LMU.
You'll be interested to see what both sides can cook up coming off this timeout midway through first half action here at London Invite, and LMU need Iceni 5-3.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Enjoying the show? Show your support for the live stream and the people making the show. Buy a super chat or super sticker on YouTube directly. Select your donation and type your message to the world. And share. All donations go into directly funding new shows. Buy a super sticker or super chat now. Thank you.
Nova School Electric, become a member.
LMU up 5-3, last women's round of the day for us here at the London Invite. And I must say, it is now glorious here at the Grasshoppers Rugby Club, a lovely venue. We're kind of confined to the AstroTurf, but you've been out there playing on the natural surface as well. How was it feeling underfoot?
Yeah, the grass is great out there. It feels really good to run on something that isn't artificial turf. Obviously, turf has its benefits, but do love a grass field.
Yeah, there's nothing quite like playing on, an actual proper, good quality grass surface, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
He says as someone who never plays Ultimate anymore, but yeah, it still is. You get the feeling as well. You can take your shoes off at the end of the day, and you've got the nice lush grass underfoot. Yeah, there's nothing quite like it.
Better than the rubber crumb that's going to inhabit my house for the next, 6 weeks. Oh, and as we say that, a break throw around backhand does not meet its target. Yeah. LMU with the chance to get another break here.
Gill sliding, but in the end coming up with probably just carpet burn and nothing else. The wind beginning to pick up, so LMU going to have to work against that here. Forward leading throw to space. Poliquin with aplomb.
That is an incredible grab. It is not easy to do. Fading away from you, offhand.
And now zing it into the center. Not quite sure how Costello was able to get hands on that before the defender did. Unfortunately for LMU, it's all going to be for North. Iceni looking to strike quickly off the turn. Hannah Thompson blading one in front of Maddie Leong.
Iceni looking to play fast in this. Christy Toe with the disc outside the end zone. Looks for her handler. Good patience from Iceni.
Yeah, utilising the textbooks.
And curse of the commentator as that one floats above. That's the coffin corner, you know. If you try to throw into that corner with the wind as it is, it's just going to pop it up as we see right there. Has to be shots directly to the chest, which with the defender sitting there makes it really hard.
It was a really good recognition by the defender on the force there to not come in tight but sag off a little bit and just gum that downfield option a little bit. We saw blocks on there in the previous games as well, as that option into the centre is going to hit the floor, but a foul is called under contact.
Yeah, it looked like the LMU player considered maybe not calling it, but I'd be interested to see if this one gets uncontested or contested.
I always think if you're not sure, it's worth, you know, calling it, having the discussion, and if you can always retract it if need be.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's the best part about our game. You know, actually, when we have the conversations and not just, you know, immediate contest and send it back.
It's one of the nice things about not having observers necessarily, where I've definitely seen it where you feel like surely if you just talked about that a little bit, you could have come to the discussion without instantly throwing it to someone else. But I appreciate that as someone with an outside perspective who's, you know, who's commentated on games with game advisors at most, as opposed to observers or, you know, even full blower refs, rather than just referees in disguise.
It is fun being angry at refs, though. I will put that one out there.
I love being angry at refs. So good, but it doesn't necessarily mean I want it in Ultimate as well.
No, definitely not. And as we say that, it is a contested call. It looks like Costello was fine with the contest. So let's see if almost a near Callahan there for Iceni, but LMU still in their own end zone, looking like to move it out now, and a deep shot coming up.
Yeah, it's going to blade, but Sharman had a read on it, and
Sharman.
Thompson was unsighted. And the Oregon product's now going to see if she can burn deep, looking for the throw from Ford, and she'll be disappointed, having done the hard work, that she just couldn't complete the catch.
Which is unfortunate, because that first one was four-ply. That was soft.
Now Gill ripping it down the sideline into toe, dumping it off to the Swede of Rory Jonsson.
Iceni about 5 yards outside the end zone. Really need this hold, and
just about, I think. I wonder if she's maybe hurt herself a little bit on the landing.
I think she's hurt,
yeah,
but I think she caught it.
Yeah, the goal is good. I don't think anyone is contesting that, but evidently done herself a little bit of a mischief on the reception there, Toe.
Oh, you just hate to see that. And we'll take a look here. It looks like her foot gets caught up into, yeah, it looks like her ankle kind of gave way, but she did maintain the catch through the ground. So incredible job, and hopefully she's okay and she's not in too much pain and she can play. Just an awkward, it's what you get with turf, unfortunately. Sometimes your feet get caught up in the turf. Makes it really unfortunate. Hopefully she'll be okay.
Yeah, the fact that even though, you know, she did hop off, you know, had enough wherewithal about her to get off the field herself rather than having to kind of be helped off, so that's usually a good sign. 5-4 LMU up on Iceni.
Yeah, both teams here moving the disc pretty well. Not a lot of marathon points, which is good. Shows that the offenses are being patient when they need to be. Cuts are developing, working hard. Let's see if that trend continues.
Yeah, it's the third game of the day, and while they are, you know, relatively evenly spaced, so you do get a nice breather in between them. You know, that you will understandably maybe have a little bit less at the legs than you did at 9 a.m. this morning, although having said that, I never have any legs at 9 a.m. this morning.
I think I was still asleep at 9 a.m. this morning.
All right, don't rub it in.
Looks like a little junk here, trying to stagnate this LMU hucking game. Oh, I thought it was coming right then and there.
I like it, though. You've identified a game plan that LMU have got clicking, so what can we do to try and make them break from that? As Marsha Wagner Kulikovska is now shooting deep, looking for Kwok. Oh, she had it and she lost it.
Yeah, it looks like Kwok just was unable to really squeeze that. I think maybe going to ground there might have been the best option, but really, really, really tough grab.
Yeah, coming in maybe a little bit too angular. Either way, it is a break chance for Iceni.
This is something that they definitely need to do. So let's see if they can go 70. And that would be a no. Real quick no. Thompson with the disc outside the goal line. We know that she's got some spicy lefty throws, and there's one of them.
Oh my goodness.
Good grab.
Somehow squeezed it under the mark of once teammate Lucy Barnes. And it is zinged into the end zone for the score. Thompson has just such a variety of release points that she can get it off from seemingly anywhere.
Yeah, I like what Lucy did it initially. I like that she stepped off to kind of cast the net to stop the throw and then come back in. But then she got too close, allowing the lefty Thompson to step under her and hit that throw. It's a great throw, and honestly, if any handlers can watch that and try to add that to their repertoire, I think that would be a vital skill for a lot of throwers out there to learn.
I mean, Thompson's been doing it for about as long as I can remember. And never really seems to lose a step.
I'd like to say again that similar to the gravity game that we watched, LMU's doing a great job of earning the disc back when they turn it over.
Yeah, they are.
And it's kind of, it really is something to watch as somebody who plays in the mixed division, and sometimes when you see turns, it's not as clicky. Like, you don't turn it on as much as they are. And they are just, turn happens, they're engaged. They're ready to go. It's just really, really good to watch, and I think that a lot of teams could benefit from seeing this kind of fluidity.
Healy into the centre for body. Dishing back to Maddie Leong. LMU trying to go up, downfield movement, the run through, oh, and it's tipped, but the second effort from Gill. Do you want to say it or shall I?
Catch your D's.
Yep.
You had every opportunity to do it, you just got to do it. Or just push it down. Don't just smack it, unfortunately.
Nah, catch it, and then you never leave the opportunity.
Absolutely.
Milosevic towards the end zone, a pick
called.
A fair few seconds ago.
Yeah, I think in that situation, you have the opportunity of the inside track. You might as well just catch it. In a windy situation with the wind coming from how we're seeing it right to left, you can't just smack the disc into the wind. It's going to push it up and give the receiver another chance to get it. And generally speaking, your momentum is probably not going that way. Iceni on the doorstep here. They've done a really good job of making really patient throws, but LMU is really gucking this up. Shot.
What a throw that is. Just the elevator into space, leading body there, and it was delightful for her to track and reel in the score. That's throwing someone open.
Is this indoors? Because that's an indoor throw. That's something I would do on an indoor pitch. You just see somebody getting a step and you just throw in a little cheeky elevator high release backhand. And maybe the defenders in the stack can make a safe play, but honestly, that's just a good cut and a really nice throw. That's kind of unguardable.
Yeah, the space was cleared really well, so it meant that there was no defender in there to poach, and that's so tricky because the receiver's running right away from you. So how can you get it over the top and still get them to drop it into the bucket? Maddie Leong absolutely nailed it, and she is so impressive as a player. I mean, was excellent at the Under-24 Championships last year in Nottingham, and yeah, every time I see her suit up, you know that you're going to get at least one player game, whether that's a big block or she comes up with a clutch grab or it's a throw like that. There's at least one player game where you look at it and you kind of just nod and be like, yeah,
fair play.
Yeah,
I think actually very jealous of everybody who's this young and good at ultimate, because when
God,
I was 23 years old, I was horrible. Still don't think I had a flick. I came from the Metro East of Ultimate, so...
Oh, my word,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
So I survived the Metro East. But it's really cool to see these young players on Iceni, and I know that was kind of the emphasis, that they wanted to grow these young players, and I think that it's really showing. Building this experience with these younger, athletic, really good throwers. As a deep shot goes up here, two defenders. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter.
That's a trust throw, really, isn't it? It went up, and I was like, really? That's the shot you want to take? But
what do we know?
Yeah, with Van Kreken on the end of it, I guess it is the shot you want to take.
That's the kind of throw I want my throwers to throw to me. I want them to see me in double coverage and be like, he's got it. And this is just not even a consideration. Not even consideration. Saying, oh, there's 2 defenders. No, I trust my receiver. Oh, so good.
Also, I know that I have definitely done like little game updates and said throwing to CJ. Throwing to CJ for the score. He was not open. It's nice when it's one of those things like if they're covered, they're still open. Like even sometimes there are some players, as you saw there with Van Kreken, even in double coverage. You know, when you've got that sort of synergy that you're expecting the disc, often that extra second, half a second maybe, is all you need to get yourself in that better position. And once you've got that position, you don't give it up.
I think about the one thing I heard a lot when I see a really good receiver. If she's even, it's leaving. That's got to be the mantra here.
You know what? I like that. I like that a lot. You know that they've got that closing speed, that acceleration, that when they turn on the jets, there's just no one really who can keep up with them. And even if they can, well,
you can see what she does in the air with that two-handed yam down there. As LMU throws out their patented handler junk to really stop this Iceni flow. Last time Iceni did such a good job of moving it side to side and attacking vertically as they do right here. But unfortunately, this one floats and LMU comes down with it.
Sailed it looking for Healy. Nevitt in prime position to pick it off.
It's the issue with those zones is that that's what they're trying to get you to do. And unfortunately, they went right into their plans there. Thrower tried to pop it, but not like that.
When you take on those throws and you nail them, then the defense can be out of position. But if you don't, well, you saw what can happen. Kulikovska now with LMU looking to break for half.
It's a very big point. Kwok with the disc, swinging it.
Just beats the arms of Aurora Jonsson into Karen Kwok. Down the sideline.
These are incredible grabs under vicious pressure from Iceni.
I mean, they are really breathing down the necks, and LMU somehow getting it done. Oh, visionary!
What?
Tipped from Kwok to Thompson. How do these good players always get so lucky? It's amazing.
Oh, my goodness.
And then into the end zone, finish from Nevitt to Kulikovska. Kwok and Thompson with a huge hug. It was a really tough grab for Kwok to make, but she committed for it regardless and got the reward because tipped it, and Thompson was right there to collect the graceful and grateful second effort.
Unbelievable from Lemmings there. My goodness, that was unbelievable. What a crazy play. Let's see if we can get a replay of it here. First of all, this catch on the sideline, the tippy toe ballerina effort, just getting that left foot down. And then right here, as the handler clears, swinging the disc, gets a hand block, and it's, oh, what a play.
I mean, it was huge from Kwok to even think that she had a chance of getting it, and then Thompson was right there on the spot. One more into the end zone. Thank you very much. And that is half. 8-5. And maybe, you know, I don't. It's simplistic to boil this down to a battle of youth versus experience. You know, the Londoners Iceni against, well, I mean, they're a lot of former Iceni stars in the London Masters of LMU, right? But it's been at the moment they are, I don't want to say they're teaching them a lesson, but because that feels very harsh, and as you saw with that last possession for LMU, Iceni were applying so much pressure, and that's a score that LMU I think got away with a little bit, but they put themselves in position to make the plays, and they nailed them. 8-5 then, LMU up on Iceni, halftime here at the London Invite.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Enjoying the show? Show your support for the live stream and the people making the show. Buy a super chat or super sticker on YouTube directly. Select your donation and type your message to the world. And share. All donations go into directly funding new shows. Buy a super sticker or super chat now. Thank you.
Nova School Electric, become a member.
Eight 5 LMU up on Iceni here. London invite action for you. A glorious afternoon / early evening it's turned into here on the west of the nation's capital.
The day after the summer solstice, let's see if the sun sets on Icini's comeback right here.
That's a pick. And we're going to go back. Sharman matched up against Body. That's a fun matchup. I like that a lot. Aurora Jonsson going round to Body, who dived, but in vain. Sharman wants to get in play quickly. Maybe struggling for options, but then finds Ford late in the stall. Ford down the sideline. A dagger delivered by Iceni, punched in to Dinsdale Young, who so often is a finisher for this LMU D-line.
Yeah, LMU really doing what we've seen in the Gravity game and in this Iceni game. There's a turn. They know exactly what they want to do. Iceni does a really good job of preventing any sort of quick start. They're just able to punch it in. It's just really good, succinct cutting and a great finish cut.
And we mentioned, of course, that Iceni maybe not at 100% because some of their key players, their captains even, are playing for GP Mix this weekend. And as a result, Iceni are not using these games for the EUCS rankings, even though LMU have opted in. Have they? No, LMU haven't opted in either. So neither of these sides have elected to use these for the EUCS this year.
Which is good because what it does, and it's seen across the mixed division currently with Reading and I know Deep Space as well, this is a great opportunity for teams to come in, get some really good reps, and really let some other players develop in situations that they might not get the chance to do. These are good physical game reps. Obviously, they're competitors. They want to win, but they're not going to sacrifice it at these players and like have to play around it. So this is good from both teams, and obviously LMU with all their experience, it's good to see them doing what they need to.
Right, it's taking the step up in roles from, you know, maybe you're being a swing handler to a centerpiece of an offense. Maybe you're taking a bit more of a leadership role. All of a sudden, rather than taking the second or third matchup, you're taking their key player. All important in-game practice, because there's nothing like actually doing it out there on the grass.
Absolutely. Again, LMU coming down in that zone, trying to stop any forward progress from Iceni, but Iceni is doing what they were doing that first point in the first half with this zone and just slashing it side to side. And that should be at the front cone.
It floated a little bit, but it wasn't a problem for Lyndon Chang, despite the advances of Nevitt. And when Iceni's offensive possessions have worked and they've got into rhythm, there is a real assuredness and smoothness about the way that they play.
Yeah, it brings the score to 6-9. Nice.
Yep, nicely
and
poised.
The issue here that I would say for Iceni is if they can just play every point like that, they might have a chance to come back in this game. That offense looked clean. It looked crisp. You love to see that from Iceni.
Yeah, they just haven't necessarily been able to generate the breaks that they need, at least not yet in this game, because of course games played to 15, or if we haven't reached that by 70 minutes, that is the time cap for us. Although it works a little bit different, and it's not a flat cap +1. You finish that point, and then if you're not level or within one, then the game ends then and there. So you can't really afford to let sides escape too far into the distance because you've just run out of time to close that gap, which is not really something you ever see this side of the Atlantic. Of course, Windmill has a slightly similar system, and I think Tom's does as well. But generally, you know, we play the old school cap +1 as opposed to, you know, back stateside, where with the various outlets of the semi-pro game, where you have very different timing rules, and it's certainly an adaptation you've got to get used to.
Absolutely. It's good to have formats like this to make people think a little bit differently about the game. As Iceni comes out in a little bit of a zone, but I'm not sure. I think there was somebody deep there, but unfortunately the throw just went straight down to the ground. Yeah,
Garnier was the target, and I don't hate the shot because the deep game generally has been flowing pretty well, and there wasn't too much pressure on the backhand hook. It just wasn't properly executed.
Another execution error, but let's see if LMU can do what they've been doing, which is immediately getting a D, preventing any sort of chance from Iceni getting a break.
Yeah, it's not just locking down after the turn, it's preventing particularly good field position either, but that's a nice down the line pass to start.
Really well
McCarthy
executed.
To Barnes, and Barnes again laying out just to make sure. Now that one's going to be popped up, and Nichols nearly got a hand in there and then decided actually that maybe I don't need to.
Doesn't want the stat. Got to get the stat.
Yeah, we've been furnished with a wonderful team of volunteers here this weekend at the London Invite to do our scorekeeping and stat taking for us, which is greatly appreciated.
Unfortunate misread there from the receiver. Iceni gets another chance for a break, what they desperately need. Unfortunately, that one floats over the head of Lucy Cinnamon, and again, just having a lot of turns on this point. This is kind of what we saw in the gravity game, right? LMU's up by 3 or 4 points, and the defense needs to start getting breaks. You can't just be wasting shots like that. You gotta be taking the right movement.
Yeah, it feels like just when LMU might cave that they're able to find a way beyond it, and then they just rocking and rolling from that point. It's another storm they've got to weather here.
It's a good force cut up the line, but LMU preventing any other flow. Another up line cut, really well taken there.
Plummer goes short to Amelia Kenneth. Floats it and nearly rescued by Cinnamon, but not quite.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of shots on that low side of the field, really catching the wind and popping up. I'm wondering if the throwers on Iceni are going to adjust to that. That's their 3rd time missing it. I don't know if LMU is going to let them take it again.
Garnier to Hamer.
Looks like a pick
stoppage.
called. Looks like a pick called. I don't think it's going to affect.
But good use of hand signals makes our life a lot easier.
It does make our lives easier.
I'm still trying to petition for maybe a bit more hand signals now that people are used to them. I want a specific hand signal for a strip and maybe for a force out as well. If anything, because that means I can shout at people for not knowing the hand signals again.
I do miss that. It's a good heckle. It's a really good heckle.
Everyone gets the signal for violation wrong, and it drives me up the wall. It doesn't matter because everyone knows what they mean, but still, I'm a pedant, so it's important to me.
Good reset defense from Iceni, really hawking the offensive player. Not making any of these easy. Another high stall count for LMU. I think there's actually a fast count or something going on the mark right now. Maybe a stall. I see a lot of head tapping, and generally speaking, since nobody got skied, it's probably upwards of a stall.
Huang on disc with Phoebe Teo becoming a nuisance on the mark. Contested stall.
Yep, looks like contested stall. I see the hand signals across again. We'd love to see it.
I expect this to go deep, and I expect it to go deep quickly.
Boost mobile. Oh no, indeed, a just swing and
it's tipped by Treble, and despite the layout from Hamer, still skims onto the AstroTurf.
If Iceni gets a break here, this will go down as a very important point in this game of Iceni being very resilient, making LMU turn the disc when they haven't. And as a deep shot comes up here,
zinged.
What
a catch by McCarthy.
She just went up and snatched it. Cinnamon with the shot to the end zone.
And wide open. LMU, so long it was bend but don't break, but there's only so much bending you can do before that crack appears. And Iceni with their first break of this game, 7-9. They are making a good fist of this one.
Yeah, to quote 1993 movie Aladdin, it will not break, it will not break, it broke.
Was that 93?
1993.
Oh, I thought it was 92 in my head. Okay, that's good to know.
It might be, but it's definitely early 90s. I always try to, I know Beauty and the Beast was 91, so.
Oh, you have way too much specific knowledge on this.
Unfortunately, it is my superpower. But really, really resilient. A great throw from Lucy Cinnamon up there after the really, really nice catch. Oh my goodness.
I mean, how McCarthy plucks that.
I don't understand. That is such a difficult catch. And to come away cleanly to the point where the defender didn't even like contest it, just being like, yeah, no, she's took it from me.
Sometimes you just hold your hands up and say, fair enough.
Fair play, move on.
Yeah, LMU will have to pick themselves up because not only is that a break, but they had numerous opportunities and they couldn't really get anything going with them. Resourcing just to try and stretch it with the longer puts, but Iceni finally able to find a way of putting a bit more pressure on those as well.
Yeah, I liked what I saw from the Iceni defense there. They were really pressuring back hips. I mean, they've been there all game, but this time they've actually generated the turns. If you see another 3-3-1, a lot of switching in the backfield and a lot of handler clumping down here. Looks a little double teamy over there, but might, as Quote gets off the sideline. Oh,
and then through the hands of Douglas. It's interesting because sometimes even if those players up front are a little bit close, you don't mind it because if you can find a way to get it beyond them, you've got so much space to work with.
Yeah, and just another execution error, just not being focused on the catch there. Looks like another call down the field. But yeah, really an opportune moment for a drop like that.
I mean, is there ever an opportune moment for a drop?
You know, honestly, I think there is. There's got to be something. I think. Well, think about it. The one we just saw, right? The bid drop. Technically, it's a drop because she gets a full hand on it, but pops it up to the player behind her. So that's an opportune drop.
I'll allow that as Chang going to ground. Iceni determined not to let the game get away from them. They want to punch in this break chance, but that one floats. And again, more excellent sleight of hand to nip it in and come away with a disc there from Plummer.
Yeah, it's good stack discipline. If she's not holding herself in a good stack area, she doesn't come down with that. So really good from the Iceni player there as they are just near the brick mark, looking to score and go closer to LMU.
Yeah, this will pull them back within one.
I wouldn't be shocked if Iceni, cheeky left hand there. Wouldn't be surprised if Iceni breaks here again, if LMU takes a timeout to resettle themselves as this throw goes up.
Zone, and Kulikovska was able to get a big, hearty slap on that one out of the sideline.
Yeah, we can see that. Just a little too tall for Cinnamon. Again, the wind is blowing down here very ever slightly. But the thing is, at that corner, it is the coffin corner. If you throw high, the disc will pop, and that's exactly what happened there.
Thompson, as Joyce Kwok leaks out the back. They're determined to double cover these short options if need be. All the way across the field. Kulikovska
can't hang on to it.
Yeah, just could never quite catch up to it. Couldn't fully open those legs up. Now Barnes picks up just a few meters out.
Looks like action might come from the front here as they clear out. Good guck up from the LMU defenders. Barnes on a high stall count, but she finds the receiver open in the stack, and it's another break for Iceni.
Excellent work there from Iceni, because LMU, of course, because a lot of them have come through Iceni, you wonder how much the playbook changes over the years. As soon as they set up, they know exactly how this is supposed to go. They're able to stop it, muddy the waters, but Barnes still able to find the option in the centre, who I think is Plummer. And that is another Iceni break. 9-8. LMU still with the advantage. And as you suspected, CJ, there's the timeout.
What can I say? You just know it's coming.
It makes sense. That's the thing. The reason we see it coming is because we've been in scenarios like this, and you know, you give up 2 breaks in a row. it feels like the perfect moment to take a timeout rather than, okay, we just go out there. Because if you get broken again, you're thinking, why did we not just take a breather and steady ourselves?
Yeah, I think this is a good chance for LMU to take a collective breath together, remind themselves that they are sick at Frizz and they need to just go back to what they were doing before. Credit to Iceni, though. They have not backed down. They have not given up. They were really, really pressuring LMU's offense in that first half, just not getting the Ds. They're coming now.
Can Iceni complete the comeback? 9-8, they trail LMU here at London Invite.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Enjoying the show? Show your support for the live stream and the people making the show. Buy a super chat or super sticker on YouTube directly. Select your donation and type your message to the world. And share. All donations go into directly funding new shows. Buy a super sticker or super chat now. Thank you.
That was called Electric Become a Member.
Iceni applying some pressure here. LMU built themselves a very healthy advantage, but Iceni are eating their way back at it. Only down one here, 9-8. Benji Reese and CJ Colicchio in our commentary tent.
Love what I'm seeing from Iceni in this game. Going down 8-5, but you know that that's the most dangerous lead in Ultimate. And Iceni's showing why. They're putting pressure on LMU, making LMU not do this. The deep shot comes up. Great catch there along the sidelines.
Hamer was bang on the money. Maetta's often been her favorite target downfield.
As the deep shot also comes up.
That did not seem particularly open. And Chi-Ling Wu thought exactly the same I did as she knocks it to the turf.
Yeah, maybe it was a high stall count there. I'm not really sure, but I don't know if LMU is. Ooh,
that was a tough catch to make by Marsh because she's trying to lay out right towards it. And it's so difficult to get the hands there and not ground strip yourself on landing.
Yeah, I think the gator clap to the ground there is the tough one. You might just got to scoop the crab claw there, but. Again, that coffin corner wind is pushing that disc away from the receivers. I think we've seen about 10 turns in that corner alone, and they've all been sailing.
It's tough to get that execution bang on.
Yeah, and a lot of these throwers are really good, and they're having difficulties with it. It might be a good idea. I mean, I like what I'm seeing from LMU to force them into that, but Iceni's got to do a better job of just falling into that trap. Oh, great caught from McCarthy, and a fingertip grab, sending it the deep shot.
Here's Marsh. This would bring them level.
This would.
Cinnamon. McCarthy powers away up line. Barnes screaming for the reset, and she's somewhat belatedly going to get it. Now continuing the break side, back to Cinnamon. You can see how Maetta is just always sagging off. We are not going to let you get that downfield movement. How far can we force you back as Marsh? Watching that one all the way in. Can scarcely afford a focus error now. Marsh to Barnes.
LMU applying a lot of pressure. Their stack is really far, and that's why you don't have a deep stack. Great defense from LMU there.
Yeah, Huang just seeing, well, that clear out's not really threatening anything for me, so I can hang around in this space.
Absolutely.
And she steps up to get the block.
Mayetta with the nice catch there.
Plucking it with one hand. And now finding Gainey. with a high release.
My
Huang
goodness.
just in front of the flashing Kenneth. Maeta's looking for options. Hamer doesn't want to force it in.
Oh,
Instead going with the blade towards the back of the end zone.
that's called reading the wind. You make a throw to one side and see the wind, so you throw the opposite side, and we all know how lefties and wind work together. It is a cheat code. And right there, Hamer with a buttery throw, putting it to a receiver, and the bleeding has finally been bandaged. Really good throw here.
Yeah, the tourniquet applied, and as you mentioned how we've seen it be tricky when you shoot towards this near end zone. So instead, almost indoor style, you plant, go towards the far side, and the blade leads you out into space. But for Iceni, an extended red zone possession on that point. But LMU, they just firmed up there, seemed determined to make Iceni take the long route. Not going to allow you those scoring passes. You're going to have to continually dump, swing, reset. And in the end, they weaseled the turn out of Iceni.
Yeah, great job from Iceni over the last 4 points to really put the pressure on LMU, getting some breaks back. And credit to LMU too. I mean, honestly, getting broken twice in a row, it's tough to not let yourself fall and give up this lead. And let's see how they respond as this big roly pole hits the earth.
Well, the covering of the earth anyway.
Yeah, the turf earth.
The turf. Yeah, we'll go with that. Turf.
The turf. Looks like a little match defense here to change it up on Iceni from LMU.
Yeah, keep them guessing, not letting them get set into a rhythm. Leon opens up the inside. Oh, Gill left it. And
Great.
Costello was right on the spot.
Yeah, great adjustment to not run away from the disc. Sharman with the disc here on the sideline.
Swinging it to Andres. Now, continuation from the Spaniard to Fisk.
Wind's picking up a little bit here and there. Really good throws by these LMU handlers, switching the pitch.
A little bit behind though there. And Poliquin Michaud, despite her acrobatics, cannot quite pour that one in.
I'd like to see more deep shots coming from Iceni. They have really good handler up the line movement. I think if they were able to get some deep shot action going that way, I think that might work out.
Because they've definitely got the athleticism downfield if they want it.
Good continuation from the back of the stack there.
Yeah, here's Hannah Leong. Swinging central to Thompson. And continuing now, Gill, beyond midfield. Trying to squeeze it, did not think there was a window there.
And that's
Sharman
why
agreed.
you catch your Ds. Great job from Sharman there to make sure that that disc does not pop back up.
And it means that she's right ready on the spot to bring it back in play as well. Dinsdale Young.
Looks like Fisk is calling a foul, maybe too much, and it looks like uncontested foul off the disc. It's going to reset the count back to 0.
I mean, players are, I don't want to say it's generally been overly physical, but the defense has been tight. It has been tricky to find that free space.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So if it is an accepted defensive foul, it should be coming back in on 1. Should reset the stall.
Yep, looks like it is. I think there was also a contact on the mark too, which might have been contested, but doesn't matter. Like you said, uncontested off the ball. There we go.
Andres, oh, it popped up. Fisk grips it down.
Yeah, I love seeing the switch of side to side from LMU here, not just being content with one swing, getting 2 across the pitch, changing the angle.
You are, I think, seeing how the wind has picked up because these throws are popping up a little bit more. Andres to Sharman, wanted the extra break throw. Instead pings it into the centre to Fisk. Fisk ripping the inside window. Costello fakes the next one, but just didn't quite see the window that she wanted. Andres can't work her way free. Still count got to be rising. Finding Ford, and Ford finds the space in the end zone for the LMU break. This is a little bit reminiscent of what they did against Gravity, where it felt like the Irish side were clawing their way back into it. And then LMU finished the game on a real high. Are we seeing that again here?
I think so. I think this is one of those moves where, you know, Iceni has the chance. They're just maybe moving a little too quickly. I think that forced shot up the sideline when Sharman got that layout D, I don't know if that shot was the one you want to shoot to. But LMU, no problem, moving it down the field, side to side. Like you said, wind's picking up. Their throwers did a really good job of hitting everybody in stride, connecting to the handlers with the stack. Really, really good stuff from LMU there.
Yeah, LMU now going in the downwind direction, of course, if they are able to wrestle the disc off their opponents. I think it's got to the time of day where you are looking for the shade when you're off the field.
Yeah, very thankful for this tent right now. This is nice, keeping the sun off.
Yeah.
Until I have to go play my next game in about 15 minutes.
See, this is why you don't play Frisbee. Never have to leave the shade. It's great.
With LMU up 11-8 with about 5 or so minutes left, I think that this is a really good point for LMU. If they can break here, that might be the dagger.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Iceni doesn't have enough time to come back right now, but if LMU can get another break right here, 5 minutes for 4 points, that would be very, very difficult.
It feels like for Iceni, a clean hold is the priority here, because if you can get down quickly, then it gives you time. You know, that brings it to 11-9, and then you can get the break maybe to bring yourself within 1 when that hooter goes, which you need to, of course, in order to make sure that the game continues. Very healthy crowd developing on the far side as well here at the Grasshoppers Rugby Club.
Yeah, they're probably a little bit ready for the showcase game in a couple matches, as another D, like we just talked about from LMU. Looks like Evan got that one, and the shot immediately to the end zone.
Oh, Kulikovska bobbled and couldn't get it at the second attempt. I must admit, when the shot went up, I didn't see Kulikovska coming over from the far side, but Thompson's field vision is, well, 20/20, and mine is, I don't know how vision works. Is 10/10 half that? I don't know, but evidently she saw.
You can just say
developing.
You can just say you have ultimate cataracts. There you go.
I mean, people who see me play could probably agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I also shared that belief. I didn't know who she was throwing to, but an incredible throw. Unfortunate for Kulikovska not to get it, as Iceni is now progressing up the field. More patient throws. Looks like a pick down the field. Frustration, perhaps, as we're getting into the end time.
Yeah, Inosevic. It's the player who was freed up with Cheska Weddle unable to keep stride thanks to that traffic in the middle.
Yeah, I think the conversation going on here is whether this LMU player, it looks like Weddle, if she was able to make a play on the disc, and I think that's kind of conversation going on. Maybe it was early enough. So yeah, it looks like it was. Disc is going back. Another resolved conversation in the 45-second time limit. Open could never.
Don't. Honestly. Some of these discussions is... To be fair, I do enjoy it when there's a discussion. It's been like 3 minutes and it's clear they're not going to come to a resolution. And then they come to a resolution. It's like, oh, that was not what I was expecting.
Everybody loves a soliloquy. Iceni knocking on the doorstep here to go to 9-11.
Douglas trying to firm up on the mark after closing down those angles.
Good switch of the pitch.
Body rolls a wrist around it, and despite the layout, LMU will get it back.
Yeah, another really good defensive effort from LMU on the break side. Playing both sides really well. And here's the deep shot again.
Weddle airing it out. Nevitz the target. 2 defenders created that bracket there.
Perhaps a foul conversation. Nope.
No, I think Maddie Long just got the position, to be honest. Yep. That's exactly what you want to do as defenders there. One takes the deeper space, one comes underneath, and basically you just say, if you can fit it in that window,
fair play.
Fair play, but we're back in that you can't. And that time they were dead right.
Yeah, we saw double coverage defense get beat before by LMU. Not this case, not in this chance.
They're learning from their mistakes. Iceni again with a chance to get a hold and bring the score up as we are getting closer to the 70-minute cap.
Yeah, I think Iceni, the defensive strategy here is right, where we take away the deep shot. So we want to force you to slowly, surely piecemeal your way down the field and take more time off that clock.
Yeah, unfortunately they've got to score in the next minute and 20 seconds or they won't be able to have a chance to get that play off.
Inocevic.
Good defense from LMU, stopping the resets. Oh,
Body with a low catch. Continuing to break around. Body, back to Lyon. There comes a point when you do have to roll the dice here because you can't take as many passes as it takes. Eventually, you have to shoot your shot with the time ticking away.
there
Thompson
it is.
to the end zone to Gill. A yard or so out. Can she find the way over? Back to Thompson.
Oh, great upline cut.
A little bit fraught.
Oh, that is so
Thompson
unfortunate. If she had just kept engaging with her up the line, they had rinsed their defender and could have possibly just been thrown into the end zone. Unfortunately, took the longer option. The wind just pushed it down.
Thompson.
10 seconds until the count goes off, and
Thompson choosing the deep shot, and Weddle got a little bit of contact as she tried to position herself underneath it from Gill.
yeah, I don't know how much Gill knew about that, as she was just kind of holding her space there. I'm interested to see if this one gets upheld. It looked like she just held her space, and I think Weddle actually might have come into her.
There you hear in the background, unfortunately, the death knell for Iceni, because even if they do score, the game will end after this point.
Looks like a contested foul.
It's going to go back to Thompson. And this means that LMU will seal top spot in this group. Gravity versus Spice is not actually wrapped up yet, and if Spice were able to win that game, then it would be a three-way tie for second in the pool. But LMU's path into the semi-finals is secured as group winners. Stoppage on disc. Thrown down line and thrown off line as well.
Eventually, Iceni does get the D, and this would be really good for momentum of going into the semis, of them being able to just get some progression, end it on a high note.
Yeah, and get some refreshments at the bar.
Absolutely.
Enjoy the showcase games and come back with a positive attitude tomorrow, as that throw down the line never had a chance.
No, can't even blame 3 meters for the sideline there. That just was never coming in. Quoke taken. Oh, I thought it was coming. Good fakes from Quoke, moving the mark.
I mean, there is a real snap in the wrists, and it makes them all the more convincing as Thompson doesn't connect.
Yeah, rare drop from Thompson there.
Now Maddie Leong looking for the break. Takes it on to Thompson. Now back in her hands. Just squeezing that one. Enough edge to take it around Kwok. Inocevic. Short to Thompson. Going every other this possession. Finding the punch through. And then to Gill to apply the finishing touch. It won't be enough for Iceni, unfortunately. A case of too little, too late. LMU again just building themselves that advantage either side of half, and Iceni able to fight their way back into it, but the clock just ran out on them in the end. Lovely find of that inside through, and Leong to Gill, but it is LMU's game in the end. 11-9. the London Masters seal the victory. So the two sides going to shake hands and then go to their spirit circle. Here are the match stats for you. LMU hitting on a third of their break chances, 5 for 15. Iceni, they gave themselves enough opportunities, but LMU's O-line defence providing enough pressure to earn the majority of those back. So 11-9 final score here, LMU over Iceni. We're going to move into the Open Division for the last time today. Next up, a rematch of a little friendly we saw last night when Great Britain put down an absolute shellacking of Canada Open. 15-4 it was last night. How much better will it go for Canada today? That remains to be seen when we get back underway. Just seeing a couple of highlights from this game. Here was, I think, the undisputed play of the game. First Weddle towing the sideline. And then the swing pass tipped on the mark. Kwok lays out and just ends up macking it to Thompson in the end. Final score here in this last women's pool play action of the day is LMU 9, LMU 11, Iceni 9, ULTI.TV. We'll see you on the other side.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, Milan. I mean, Ultimate.
ULTI.TV.